You're careful about what you eat and what products you use, and you want the same healthy life for your beloved pets. You've been searching the internet and social media for natural solutions to your pet's issues, and you're trying to find ways to prevent issues from cropping up in the first place. But everywhere you look, you find different answers, varied opinions, and you just end up more confused. Your pet is a part of your family. He deserves the best, and he deserves to live a long, healthy life. I'm here to tell you that it can be easy, that taking care of your pet naturally doesn't have to be a headache for you. I'm going to talk to you about everything natural wellness, including what to feed your pet, how to use herbs and essential oils, massage and hands-on techniques, meditation, communication, and energy healing. If it's natural, it's worth talking about. In this podcast, you'll learn everything you need to know about taking care of your pet naturally, for life. I'm Corine, and this is the Enlightened Animal Podcast. Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Enlightened Animal Podcast. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking to Miranda Jansen, who is a meditation and Reiki specialist for animals. She is a seasoned nurse with over 2 decades of experience in psychiatric care, and she now delves into the world of holistic animal healing. Miranda's journey began with a passion for holistic approaches, sparked by her experiences with natural diets and essential oils for herself and her dogs. Originally from Holland, Miranda now resides in Aruba, where she shares her home with 2 cherished canine companions, Joy, a shelter rescue, and Seth, a tiny pup she rescued from a parking lot. Miranda's heart also holds a special place for Mr. Magoo, an elderly, deaf, and blind dog she fostered during his final months. Miranda's dedication to animal welfare extends beyond her own pets. She volunteers at Luna Foundation, a sanctuary for traumatized dogs, where she brings comfort and healing through meditation. Inspired by her own journey of recovery from illness, Miranda embarked on a path to become a healer for animals, specializing in the Let Animals Lead method of Reiki. Through her mission to support dog owners facing challenges, advocate for mistreated dogs in Aruba, and bridge the gap between veterinary care and holistic healing, Miranda is a beacon of compassion and wellness for both humans and animals alike. So welcome, Miranda.
Thank you. Thank you for the beautiful introduction.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I love to start each podcast with an origin story, your story, that your pivotal moment that caused this change of direction for you in your life. If you would like to share that with our listeners.
Yes. Well, there are 2 moments. It was in 2016 when I had a burnout. So then my spiritual journey and holistic journey for myself started. And in 2021, I got COVID. And I had long COVID, so I was for more than a year sick, really, really tired. I didn't understand what was happening with my body. I knew I needed to heal, but I didn't understand it.
Right.
Here on Aruba, I met somebody who was giving Reiki sessions. So I started to getting Reiki sessions from her. And it really helped. It helped me becoming better. And during one session, sometimes you hear a voice and you think it's your own voice, but I hear a voice and it said you need to become a healer for animals. So then I was thinking, wow, that's what I need to do, because I was for a longer time looking for what do I want to do with my life, because I am working for so long as a nurse and it doesn't have the passion anymore that I had in the beginning. So I was looking for what am I going to do. So then I hear this to become a healer for animals. And the Reiki, I really liked it. I really felt it would help me. And I talked with her about it, that I can also give the treatment to myself, but also to my dog. So then I decided to do the Reiki study for humans.
Okay.
And then during the study, I was thinking, how am I going to help dogs with this? Because I really wanted to help dogs, and here on Aruba a lot of dogs are scared because they are traumatized, or they are born on the streets, or they are not treated well by humans. So I was thinking, how am I going to do it? Because Reiki for humans, we are touching the body, and if a
Right,
dog is
right.
scared, how can I touch the dog if he's scared? So then I was on Pinterest, and I'm never on Pinterest. And there I saw a holistic weekend with different kind of lectures. So I followed it, and there I saw the Let Animals Lead method.
Okay.
Kathleen Passat, she was telling about it, and I was thinking, wow, that's what I need to do. That's what I really need to do, because the animals will decide if they want the treatment, if they want the session, if they want meditating with us. They are just free in charge, and that's what I also like as being a nurse for my patient, that they can choose for themselves. So
Yes.
that's how my journey started and unfolded.
Right. That's fascinating, I think, because most of the spiritual practitioners that I talk to always seem to have this moment where there's either some sort of divine download that just happens and you hear something that says you need to do this. And then magically, like you said, why were you on Pinterest? You know, that's like it's somehow you just end up without understanding why in front of what you need for the next step in your journey, which say it's a
Yeah,
beautiful story. Yeah, yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
And you talk about meditating with dogs. Now, is this separate? Because on your website and your Instagram, you say meditation and Reiki. So are they very separate, or is it one and the same thing, this meditation with dogs?
No, it's the same thing. It is
Okay.
sharing Reiki energy,
Okay.
but with the animals, we do it by meditation. So I
Okay.
meditate, and during this meditation, I invite the animal to meditate with me. And like I
Okay.
said before, the animal can choose if they want it or they don't want it. And that's what I feel. That's my puppy.
Right. That's okay.
That's what I feel. If I feel kind of a rejection, then I'm thinking, okay, it's not maybe now. I will talk with the animal about what I'm doing, and explain how it works.
Right.
And most of the time, especially when it's the first time, then animals will say, okay, I it's okay, I trust it, and I want to share the energy. And the other thing is, like, a lot of people know meditation, right? Like, meditation is
Right.
nowadays so popular, like everybody knows it, a lot of people do it. And Reiki, it's still not really familiar.
Right.
Not a lot of people know it, especially for animals. When I say I'm a Reiki practitioner, people say, yeah, I know Reiki, but I don't know, I never heard about doing it, sharing it with animals. So
Right.
that's why I prefer to say meditation, because a lot of
Okay.
people know it. And then people will ask, okay, how does it work?
Right, right. And I know that you have some beautiful stories of dogs that you've worked with at this rescue center, Luna Foundation. Would you like to share, one or a few of those with us? I think it would be
Yes,
lovely to hear about working with not your traditional, house pet who's used to being around people, but these,
yes.
traumatized dogs.
Yeah, yeah. Luna Foundation is like a really great organization on Aruba. They are a sanctuary, so the animals mostly the dogs who come there, they won't. How do you say it in English? They won't kill them. It's not a killing
Oh,
station.
right.
So
It's
the dogs
right.
who
Yeah.
come there and will never find a home, they will stay there till the day they die.
Right.
So I think that's really beautiful. And they have a lot of dogs who are traumatized, a lot of dogs who were born on the streets, or who are not treated well by people. So
Right.
it's also difficult to find a new owner for the dogs. So when I started doing my study with the Let Animals Lead method, I contacted Zoe from the Luna Foundation, and we were talking about it, and she was really open to it. And she said, I
Right.
have two dogs I want you to start with. and they were so scared, so really scared. So I started going into the cage, sitting down, started to meditating with them. And in the beginning, they were so scared. But after a few sessions, I noticed that during the session, they were more relaxed. You saw more softness in their eyes, less scared in the eyes. They would lie down. They were sleeping during the meditation. So you saw a little bit, step by steps, a little bit of a change.
Right.
And now what we see is they are more in contact with their environment. I had the feeling that in the beginning they were really shutting off about what was happening. Now
Right.
they are more in front of the cage. They are having interaction with other dogs who are walking around. So still they are traumatized and still they are scared of people. But yeah, we do see a change in their behavior.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I think that probably because of the trauma, it's, there's so many layers to get through. It's probably going to take a
Yes.
lot longer. And it
Yeah.
really is a patience game, isn't it? With just
Yes. Yes.
little bit, every little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to look at the tiny successes and not the overall picture.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear about this Mr. Magoo, because he seems that he was very important in your life also.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it was. I saw his story on the Facebook page of Luna Foundation that he is all deaf and blind, and they found him on the streets. Probably somebody dumped him to die there. That's what happens more.
Right.
Um, a lot of people, they don't have a lot of money here. It's really expensive to live on the island. Food is really expensive. The paychecks for the local people are really low. So a lot of people, yeah, they cannot pay the vet bills. So sometimes people dump their dog on the streets. And doing a Reiki class, this dog, he came into my head. So then I was thinking, okay, I need to do something with it. So again, I contacted Zoe. I asked for the option to foster him. Because of his condition, he also had heart. Uh, my puppy is on the couch.
It's okay. It's an animal dog podcast. We expect to hear
Yeah,
dogs.
exactly.
It's okay. Just
You
adding
also
some
want to
extra.
chat.
I don't have to add in
um,
sound effects that way.
no, you also want to tell his story, I think, because I also found him.
Well, that's
Um,
probably what it is. He's saying, "What about me?" But
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I think so that he wants me to tell his story.
So we'll hear
I will
about
tell
that
it
next.
later.
Hold on,
Yeah.
Steph.
So I was fostering him. I took him inside of my house and he was with me for 5 months. And he was so sweet. Like he was such a sweet dog. And after I think 3 days, when he smelled me, he was starting wagging his tail. And
Oh,
I needed to take care of his eyes because he also had eyes condition, and I need to give him medicine because he had heartworm. So, but he was really so sweet, and he was really living in the now. And I think
right.
we people, we are a lot of times living in the past or thinking about the future. So
Yeah.
he really learned me a lot of beautiful lessons.
Yeah.
And it was really nice to have him around. And he was difficult. He had difficulties with standing up because of the
Mm.
tiles on the floor. So also during a Reiki class, we talked about what do we say to animals. A lot of times we think about what happened in the past, the traumas or the physical illness. So I started to say to him every time when he wanted to stood up, "You are a big guy. You can do it yourself.
Right.
You are now healthy." And it really works. After a few days, I noticed that he was getting up more easy.
Yeah,
So that was a really beautiful lesson, also for me, and a lesson that I can share with a lot of dog owners.
definitely.
And after 5 months, he went sick one day,
Mm.
and we went to the vet, and there was nothing more we could do for him. He stayed at the
Right.
vet for one night. So after my work, I went to see the vet. We talked about his condition and that we didn't could do anything more for him. So I told her I'm a Reiki practitioner.
Yeah.
She knew about it.
Right.
So she asked me if I want to do something. So I said I can share energy with him. I can meditate here with him while I'm waiting that you are having the room available for
Right.
him. So I started to connect with him. I started to meditate, to connect with him. And it was so special and so beautiful because when you are a child or also nowadays where you're going to do something and you are so happy about it and so enthusiastic about it, you feel like, oh, I'm going to do this. And I told him about what was going to happen, that he will go to the other side, that my dogs who are passed away already, that they will wait for him. That is beautiful there. So I
Yeah.
told him about what's going to happen. And in my heart, I was feeling this anxiety, like this happy anxiety.
Right.
And it was so special, but also I was sad because it was his end of life. But it was so beautiful to share it with him. And
Yeah.
then when I met him, like physical met him, he was standing with me and he was cuddling me. And yeah, it was beautiful, really beautiful to share this
Right.
with
Yeah.
him. Yeah, and that also decided me to that I want to share this with other dogs and their owners. If the dog is in the end of his life,
Yeah.
that I can help the dog and the owners with coping with this and making the transition after they
Yeah.
died or when they die. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful because so often how it is currently is people kind of feel lost at the end of life. It's this cold environment with the vet and if they choose euthanasia and they don't, there's not a lot of support out there for people in end of life. And I think being able to share this beautiful message of love and warmth and hope, I think is what a lot of people need to hear nowadays, because
Yes.
I think there is a big shift, universal shift going on in how people in general, not just us, but how people in general are interacting with their pets. And I think it's beautiful to be able to offer that kind of a message of hope going, even in the end, it doesn't have to be this traumatic event for you and for them. So yeah, it's a
Yes.
beautiful story. And I think, he definitely did come into your life. Um, a lot of ones that come into our lives for a very short period of time have such a big impact. They come in and they
Exactly.
have so much to teach us in this short amount of time. And it sounds like he really did share so many lessons with you. So it's a
Yes.
beautiful story, beautiful story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, well, I think you should talk about Seth because he's
Yeah.
just really
I don't understand it because he's small, but he also jumps off the couch so he can get off. Yeah, well said. It's a other different story. It's a special story. I was working as a nurse in a psychiatry hospital, and it's next to the normal hospital. And a
Yeah.
patient of mine, she went, and he was really tiny, and she told me that the security guy said to her, "You can take the puppy for a walk." And he had little brown things, so she wanted to wash him in the ocean, and she brought him back to us. So, of course, immediately I took care of the puppy. I saw he had a really big belly of the worms,
Yeah.
and I saw he had a lot of ticks, so that were the brown things. I asked colleagues if they want to take care of the puppy, but everybody said no. I already have a lot of dogs, and then I already had my own dog, and I had Mr. Magoo, and I'm living in a really small apartment, and my dogs are inside of my house. So I was
Right.
thinking, oh, how am I gonna do it with a small puppy and like an old dog and in a small apartment? But I was thinking, okay, I need to take care of him, right? So
Right.
I brought him home, and thinking about, okay, I'm gonna find a new home for him. I'm gonna take care of him, and then I'm gonna search for a place for him. But doing the days, weeks, nobody had interest. And I was thinking, yeah, well, maybe Magoo will die in the nearby future, what was not, yeah, but was kind of realistic. And then I have the puppy. So
Right.
that was a few times going into my head. And then I was thinking, yeah, maybe I need to keep the puppy. So, and it was funny because he was really biting in my ankles. He was 4 weeks old when I found him, so he was really young.
Wow.
So
Oh,
when I
yeah.
was walking away, he was running behind me. He was getting his paws onto my ankles, biting in my ankles. So then I decided, it's funny, he's now off the couch.
Yeah. He's like, oh, this is what I wanted.
He's telling my story.
He's like, I'm listening.
So for myself, there was one point when I decided, okay, I'm gonna keep him. And
Mhm.
also at that moment, I felt he was more relaxed.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't told anybody about it. So I start telling it my parents and some friends, yeah, I'm gonna keep the puppy. And of course they said, yeah, we already expected it. And then now Mr. Magoo passed away. So I started to share it with a lot of people. And like we were talking about, when your dog dies, or your cat, or what kind of animal you love, it can
Uh,
have a really big impact on your life.
yeah.
And I had that with my Bernese mountain dogs. He passed away 7 years, and it was really a trauma, and it was really coping with the loss. And since then, it always felt like my heart was broken, but I was missing a piece in my life.
Right.
And um, with that, it feels like that I am whole again, that
No.
it feels like I'm complete again. So
Right.
it's so beautiful that he really needed to be in my life. And it's nice. It's beautiful to see how the universe will make sure that they will come to you what needs to be with you.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Always in the right time when you're ready for it, and yeah, it's beautiful. And he obviously approves of your message because
Yeah,
he's quiet.
because he's not quiet. Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
okay, okay, mom, yeah, now I'm going to
You
be
told my
famous.
story.
That's cute. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, wonderful, wonderful, touching stories. And I know you say that you want to be the voice for Aruba's dogs.
Yes.
Um, and it does seem like, if you want to talk about that a little bit, but it does seem like it's a huge, problem, and we don't necessarily hear about it when we live somewhere else. We know about our problems locally, but
Yeah.
um, it sounds like it's a huge issue there.
Yes. Yes, we have a lot of dogs living on the streets. We have people who don't take care of the dogs properly. At this moment, there is a lot of going on the island. I think it was last Thursday or Friday. They rescued a dog. She was tied to a tree,
Oh,
and the chain was so struggle or so tight that she had a
right.
really big wound. You could see her throat. She had puppies, so she was only
Oh,
1 year old. She had puppies. She was so really skinny. I saw the film. I'm getting goosebumps. I saw the film about the people who were rescuing her. They were crying a lot because it was so sad what happened to this dog.
right.
They rescued her. They took her to the vet, but unfortunately she passed away. She died.
Oh,
And the rescue people, they say it's like the most sad story they saw in years about how
right. It's terrible.
this dog was treated. Yeah, it was really terrible. Um, so yeah, for me it's another event that is happening. I'm thinking, yeah, I really want to be a voice for the dogs. And I think about what I'm doing with the meditation and the Reiki. It's
Right.
something else than what is already here. So I
Yes.
think I can have an extra plus working together. I started to give meditation classes. So this Monday I'm gonna dedicate it to this dog.
Okay.
We are gonna dedicate the meditation to her. Yeah, and just making more awareness, and I would like to show people that animals also have a soul, just like us. They are only
Beautiful.
in a different body, and yeah, they can be our teachers, and we can teach a lot from them.
Yeah,
And that's the extra what I wanna bring to the island, of being aware
definitely.
of yeah, what animals are and how important they are in our life.
Definitely. And I think that by having a voice and talking about it a lot too, it gets out there to the big worldwide community of dog lovers, not just people in Aruba who might
Exactly.
have the means to be able to come in and do some great work as well and really help on a bigger scale. So I think it's wonderful to
Yeah,
just keep talking about them and talking about Luna Foundation and all the work that's being done there and all the
yeah,
work that you're doing. I think it's wonderful.
yeah.
Thank you. Um, from the dog community to you, we're all very grateful for the work that you're doing for these beautiful dogs. So thank
Thank
you for
you.
that. And you also talk about working with vets or teaching vets about Reiki because of the what we know the great unfortunate high suicide rate that veterinarians do have. Can you talk about that a little bit as well?
Yeah, I didn't knew about it. I heard it during my study as a Reiki practitioner. I followed the study in the US online, and I told me about it that that's a really big problem.
Yeah,
And
it's a huge
I'm
problem.
also a
Yeah.
psychiatry nurse, so that really
Right.
hits me because I work with people who have a depression or commit suicide. So I was thinking I would love to connect and combine these two things because I think Reiki, it helps animals, but also helps yourself. So
Yes.
it's my bigger goal, it's my bigger vision for the future. But yes, I would love to connect with vets, talk about this, talk about the problems, the things they see, they deal with, the traumas they need to cope with, and see about what Reiki can do for them, but also how Reiki can help them during their daily practice. You know, when you have a dog or an animal or a cat or what kind of animal who is really scared, how can you work with your own energy? How can you do your breathing before you help this patient? Maybe you have the pet owners who are really scared or angry because they cannot help the animal. So you have to cope with a lot of emotions. So how
Yeah.
can Reiki help them with that? So that's a little bit smaller. And how can Reiki help them with like the bigger problems they have with being a vet and being all the having all the weight on their shoulders.
Right. No, that's
Yeah.
it's a very big goal you have there, but it's
Yes, it's
very
a big goal. Yes.
but it's very important and I know that they need support as well. And they can kind of get critiqued, I think, maybe especially nowadays with the movement of natural wellness and natural medicine, but they are a very important piece of the whole puzzle as well, and they need our support. So thank you for that. And it's wonderful that you can kind of combine, your psychiatric background with this new kind of spiritual healing journey and find a common ground that would work so beautifully for
Yeah.
veterinarian. That's lovely to
Yeah.
hear.
I think it's a really beautiful plus.
Yeah,
Yes, like how I see it, I don't see it like you don't need a vet anymore. I think it's a beautiful extra to combine it with a vet.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Or
That's
for
beautiful.
yourself with your house doctor or the specialist in the hospital.
Yeah,
I think it's a beautiful extra that can help each other.
that's wonderful. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
wonderful idea. I mean, I'm surprised no one has thought about it, but I think it's great that you're championing this cause. So that's lovely. And I have a final question that I'm going to throw at you. So, you may or may not know, but I have created this ideal vision of soul-led dog parenting, and which really combines mind, body, and spirit, and all aspects of creating this beautiful, holistic way of parenting our dogs. And I would love to hear how you feel what you do fits into soul-led dog parenting.
Well, let me think about it. I really love that you are combining like everything, because I really believe that everything works together. So I really love that. And I think like being holistic and working holistic, it's a beautiful way to achieve this. Because you can use, like I said, you can use the medical things, you can use things from nature, you can use the meditation, you can use the animal communication. So you can combine everything. And I also really believe that if we help the animals, we will help the pet owner, because
Yes.
when our animal is sick, we have a lot of stress, So it's working both sides.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah. So I think it's beautiful that you have this big package of things you can use and combine, to help the animals and the owners.
Wonderful. And do you have any final thoughts or words that you'd like to share with our audience before we wrap up?
I think it's really beautiful that a lot of people get more aware of this and are open to this and are listening to this podcast, because
Yeah.
that means people are open for it to have the information. So I think that's really beautiful. I think I see it really as a movement, what is happening in the
Yeah.
world. And if you want to explore things, there is a lot of information on Google. You can always connect with us to have the information. So, and try to help your animal with more than only the vet. There's a lot of
Yeah.
more things you can do. So I think, being open to it, being open for new things, I think that is the first step.
Definitely. Definitely. And if people want to find out more about you or get in touch with you, where can they find you online?
I have a website. It's mirandajansen.com. So there you can
Okay.
find my information. You also have links to my social media, Instagram, Facebook. I just started with YouTube, so that's not much on it, but that's also a goal for me to do. So that's how they can get in touch with me.
And it's all just Miranda Jansen, all attached,
.com.
or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's I'm going to spell it out just in case, but I'll put it in the show notes as well. But
Yes.
MirandaJansen.com.
.com.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful. Well, thank you so much for spending this time with me and talking. It was very enlightening, and I am always so grateful to have wonderful guests on. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for the invite. Oh, and if one more thing, if people are inspired and they wanna help Luna Foundation,
Yes,
please connect me, because we can use all the help, also financially. So they can connect with me, and then I can give them the information.
wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, so definitely, I'm sure there'll be some people, hopefully, that will reach out to you to help
Yeah,
with
I
Luna
hope so.
Foundation. That would be really lovely. Well, again, thank you so much. It was a wonderful conversation. And to all our listeners, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. If you're the kind of person who likes to help others, then share this with your friends and family who have pets. If you have found value, they will too. If you have questions, I'm here to help. Email me questions at contact@enlightenedanimal.com, and I may use your question for a future podcast episode. If you want more, check out my website at www.enlightenedanimal.com. Finally, I have a personal request. Please leave a review wherever you're listening to this podcast, ideally a positive one, so we can reach more people and help more animals' lives. Thanks for listening.